Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here today. As always, if you are new here, I want to thank you first of all for stopping by, and if you could give this video a like if you like it, I appreciate that. For those of you who come back every week and support me in the channel, I really do thank you. I really absolutely appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for reaching out, because many of you do send me emails and you notice things, or you have ideas or suggestions for videos, and I really do appreciate that. All right, so for today's video, I have been wanting to do a reading on the Delphi, but I also have about 3 or 4 Delphi videos, maybe even 5 if I'm not mistaken. And it just seems like we don't really get a whole lot of updates, and there's always this kind of, you know, a suspect will come forward, and is this bridge guy or is that bridge guy, and then we don't ever hear anything and we assume it's not bridge guy. And so right now, if you are following anything with the Delphi case, we have a young man, I will refer to him as a young man because he is young, Kegan Kline, who is in jail. He's been in jail for quite some time on unrelated charges, but it is speculated that there could be something going on with him and Abby and Libby's murders. But his father, Tony, I think it's Tony Kline, is making some news here recently. And, you know, if you look at the pictures of Tony, he looks like he could possibly resemble Bridge Guy. And I did do a reading on Kegan Kline, and I can't help but to look at him and say to myself, this doesn't look like Bridge Guy. Can people change? Absolutely, but it just never really, it just didn't fit what we can see on camera. However, if there's 2 people involved in this, could he have been in and around the area with the girls? And could that have been Tony on the Monon High Bridge? So that's what we're going to read on today. We're going to actually read on Tony Kline. I want to get an idea of what Tony Kline, what kind of energy surrounds him, and what type of person he is, and a little bit about Kegan Kline, and then just whatever information that we can get with them in regards to the murders of Abby and Libby. So that's what we're going to focus on. Before I start, though, I do want to remind everybody that private tarot readings are always available. I do charge $40 for a private reading. It doesn't matter what the request is, if it's a past life reading or what to expect in the, coming year, or if you want to focus on a specific topic like financial, health, relationship, whatever, it's the same price for everything. All videos are as in-depth as I can possibly make them. They run about an hour in length, and it's set up very similar to what you see here. I will record the video so you don't have to worry about, meeting up or making an appointment or anything like that. I record the video and then I upload it to YouTube, but I upload it as a private or an unlisted video. Not number, but video. And then I email you that link to your video. And then you can watch it as many times as you want at your own convenience. Typically, turnaround time is within a day or 2 days max. I've been lucky so far to be able to, get everybody in at least the next day their video to them. So if you're interested in that, just email me and we can set it up. My email will be in the description box, so check that out. All right, so for today, let's just get into it. I want to pull a card or 2 here from this oracle deck. Forgive me, I can't think of the name of the oracle deck right at the moment. It is an oracle deck that I purchased off of Etsy. It's a very, very small oracle deck. There's only 10 cards in it, but I really, really liked the images or the imagery of the cards, and so I said, what the hell, let me buy this small oracle deck. All right, so we've got Tony Kline. Now, I did watch recently, because I haven't watched anything per se on the Delphi murders in a while, but I am a huge fan of Michelle After Dark. If you guys are here frequently, you have heard me reference Michelle After Dark many times. She posted one of her morning walk videos last week, and she gave an update on the Delphi case, and she did say, and if Michelle says it, I trust her information. And if she's speculating or if she doesn't know for a fact, she will say that as well. But she did come out and make a video, and she referenced, or she said that Kegan Kline recently made a confession or sorts. I don't know exactly what he said, but he did admit to being in and around that area the day of the murders of Abby and Libby. He mentioned something about being in a red Jeep and waiting for a person. So we don't know who that person is. We don't know if he said who that person is. I did see on YouTube a couple of days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, there were a lot of rumors and speculation that Tony Klein, his father, had been arrested. We know that there was also a search of some body of water in the nearby area. We don't know if that search is related to what Kegan Kline has mentioned, or what all information he has given law enforcement, but there's some movement. All right, there's definitely some movement. All right, Tony Kline. What's the overall energy of Tony Kline? All right, we have these ones I don't read. Reversals. I just happened to pick the deck up upside down, so I'm flipping these right side up. All right, so we have Buhag, which is fear tactics and discipline. Okay, that word discipline is sticking out to me. And then we have the Bell Witch, scapegoating and blame. So discipline, this one here especially is sticking out to me. I don't know anything about Tony Kline. I really don't even know much about Kegan Kline. I have an idea of what some of those charges are, but I have not read through all of them. But this right here, the fear tactics and the discipline, make me feel like he can be those two together, and the fact that this person is, just really overall creepy looking, and that cold air, that cold breath, that really to me symbolizes a cruel person. Now, it could be cruel with his words because of that breath, but this is a person that does use fear, okay? Fear to control. And I say fear to control because of the discipline word. So I don't know if Tony Kline has any kind of discipline. I'm thinking, I'm thinking military, to be honest with you. Is there a connection to some sort of military? Does Tony Kline have a military background? Possibly. There's something there where he is disciplined in something, or he disciplines harshly. Or he uses fear to control others, potentially, okay? And then we have scapegoating and blame. So again, doing these tactics here, he never takes responsibility, so it's always someone else's fault. Always someone else's fault. He didn't just do this. He wasn't just saying these words to this person. That person made him say those things to them. Okay, so that's kind of the overall energy so far that's coming out about Tony. All right, so what do I want to start with? All right, let me do this here. Let me make sure I've got them right side up. Let me take a quick glance. I don't. All right, so Tony Kline. What's the energy surrounding Tony Kline? I'm trying to shuffle away from the microphone. All right. Tony Kline. What's the energy surrounding Tony Kline? What's the energy surrounding Tony Kline? We're going to take that one. Oh, sneaky. We have the Seven of Swords. That's the first card. So that really, I always, in the back of my mind, Five of Cups reversed. I always, in the back of my mind, the very first card that comes out is meaningful to me in the sense that that is the overall energy. And for his card to come out as the Seven of Swords, that's deception. So, potentially very manipulative, always strategizing, always trying to scheme, always trying to get away with something, or stealing. Okay, this is also, I look at this as a theft card. So let's put it upright and just look at the imagery for a second. We've got tents. again, with these particular tents and the way this guy is dressed, what do you think of? You think of military. So I really want to know if anybody knows, was Tony Klein ever in the military, or, you know, something along those lines, because this really just strikes me as I'm picturing in my mind like 1800s, you know, military camp set up outside somewhere. So, and then that discipline is popping out in my mind. So I have to wonder if this is a guy who did something like that. But we've got the dark clouds, so it just seems that this dark energy follows him wherever he goes, possibly always looking over his back, making sure that he's covered his tracks. Again, this guy here in this particular card, it looks like he snuck into camp under the darkness of the sky and stole something or took things that probably didn't belong to him, and he's sneaking away. And he does look like he has kind of a smirk on his face of, I'm getting away with this. However, I don't know if you can see this, but there is a snake over here. Okay, there's a snake in the corner. It looks like a cobra. And because he's so focused on, you know, getting away and not being seen, he doesn't even realize that he's about to step on this snake. And that makes me feel like this person may have done things in his life and thought he was getting away with it and thought he was, you know, being smart and strategic, but not as smart as he maybe thinks he is. All right, there's some things that I think are coming back to bite him, and I don't know yet if he is involved with the murders of Abby and Libby, but his personality is really making me think that there's definitely something off with this guy. There's something dark about him. He's sneaky, he's manipulative, he's strategic, and he's done things that, you know, he's just done things, and I feel like that is actually going to you know, pop back up in his life. There's going to be some karmic repercussions here if it already hasn't happened. He may have already stepped on that snake. We've got the five of cups. So we've got, sometimes when I look at the 5 of cups, I think of shame, you know, shame, like a deep shame. He could very well have done things in his life that he is regretful of or shameful of, that he doesn't want people to know. This is a card of hiding, with the face in the hands. Okay, so you're embarrassed. You don't want people to know what you've done. You're feeling regret. You're feeling sadness. This can be a depression card. So he might not be the happiest person, okay, in life based off of things, actions that he has done, behaviors that he's had in his life. So there could be some regret. It is a 5. So are there 5 substantial things that he has looked back on in his life that were really major things that he's ashamed of? Possibly. We've also got the number 5 with 5 years for Libby and Abby. I believe it's been about 5 years now. And so, you know, does that have something to do with this karmic, this karma coming back to him? Is he now regretting, if he did have something to do with Libby and Abby's murders, is he now starting to regret that because he wasn't as slick as he thought he was? All right, so let me, okay. 4 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. I wonder if he's a drinker. He's definitely not a happy camper right now. I don't know what his current circumstances are. I don't know if he's married or if he's with Kegan's mom or what the situation is or what he does for a living. But I'm wondering if he could potentially be a drinker. And maybe recently he has increased his drinking. Again, this coming out with that 5 of Cups. This is the one that precedes the 5 of Cups. This is the 4 of Cups. So he's got these 2 here. So there's definitely some things that he's dealing with on an emotional level, and they're quite serious. So I'd be curious if anybody is in his social circle or friends, family, whoever, has anyone come out and talked about possibly a recent change in behavior or emotions or even habits like drinking or smoking or eating or anything like that. Has anything like that changed? Let me skip down here to the Ace of Wands, because this one here, it's not coming out in reverse. Okay, it's not coming out in reverse. However, it is the wands, and that's associated to the element of fire. And fire, like all things, has, you know, two sides to it, right? Duality. There's the good side of fire, and there's the you know, dangerous side of fire. Now, if this had come out reversed, I would have been like, wow, look at the anger surrounding this person. And I still feel like there's a potential for that, okay, because of what else has come up, and especially those two oracle cards that came out in the beginning, the fear tactics and the discipline. That concerns me, that one. And then that Seven of Swords. Well, the Seven of Swords actually came out reversed. And you know what? I forgot that it came out reversed, because when I flipped it up so you guys could see the actual image, I did not go back to its reversal. And so let me retract a little bit. It makes me feel like he has not stepped on that snake yet, but he potentially will be stepping on that snake soon. So that's how I would read the reversal for that one. Sorry about that. All right, so we have the Ace of Wands. Again, this is a yes card too. So aces to me are hard yeses, especially when they come out upright. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's just keep that in mind, because that wand could be really significant in Abby and Libby. Is this the one? Is this the big one? Is this where the snake is finally going to come out? Okay. That's the way I'm looking at that one. And then we have the Four of Wands reversed. So, you know, stability, home, family, foundation. When I see that one coming out reversed, and I'm seeing these emotional cards, these 4 and 5 of Cups, there's really a lot of things going on in his home life. The structure of his personal life is really not good. Okay, it's not stable. So again, I don't know if he's married now or if he's in a relationship. If he is, it's not good. Okay, it's not in a good, healthy state. In fact, it could be toxic. All right. And again, especially when I'm looking at it next to all that fire, there's a lot of, you know, he's something. He's coming out as very emotional, and I can't help but to look at all the fire in that Ace of Wands and think there could be some sides where when he's down, could that turn into anger? Is he the type of person that snaps like that? And perhaps if there's a wife or a relationship or something like that, you know, does he take that anger out on her? Again, I don't know if he's in a marriage or in a relationship. This is also coming out in reverse. So it's either no, he's not, and this is a past relationship, or he is, and it's just really, really bad. It's in a bad state. All right, so let me put these back in the deck. I want to get into, let me pull a couple of cards on Kegan. Let me pull a couple of cards on Kegan and see what comes up with him. Whoops, these two fell out, or these three. So we've got the Strength card, the Queen of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. Okay. All right, Strength, Queen of Wands. I wonder what kind of relationship Kegan has with his mother. Or if his mother is even still alive, or if Tony is still with the mother of Kegan. But, you know, with that Queen of Wands, it makes me feel like he possibly, I actually feel like he could potentially look up to his mother, because she's not coming out reversed, and it's right next to that Strength card. And that Strength card to me is, you know, that's a mutual trust and respect. So with these two cards coming out in reference to Kegan, there might be a female energy in his life that he really does look up to and cares about. I would say that he cares about this person, this woman, and it's reciprocated, because that lion and the female, that's a mutual trust and respect, right? They would not be able to get that close to one another if there wasn't that there. So there's something here with a female presence in his life that he actually feels that respect for, and quite possibly that could be a mother. You know, the Queen, I would look as someone older than Kegan, so I wouldn't necessarily look at the Queen of Wands as a relationship. This actually strikes me as being a little bit more substantive than a relationship. So I'm looking at that as a mother. However, Kegan does have a lot of mental issues. He has a lot of things going on in his head. So we've got 2 swords cards here. We've got the 4 of swords and we've got the 8 of swords. Now, what's interesting with that 4 of swords that I really I like this one coming out. This is that rest card. It's a, I don't like to refer to it as a white flag moment, but it's kind of like a white flag to me. All right, you're just throwing in the towel. You're done. You give up. You know it's over. There's no point in continuing on. It's just that time to stop. All right, it's time to stop. Now, he's been in jail. I don't know how long he's been in jail, but I'm guessing at least a year, possibly more than a year, that he's been in jail. And there's been really not a lot of movement until here just recently. That makes me feel like that's why this card is coming out in reverse. He has refused to participate. He has refused to say anything. However, it is coming out nonetheless. It is making an appearance. It's coming out. And so it makes me feel hopeful that he could potentially finally cave and say, you know what, here's the information. Here it is. I give up. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm mentally tired. I'm emotionally drained. I'm already in jail. I've been in jail for what seems like forever. So what do I have to lose at this point? Could this indicate some talking on his end? Very much so to me. Very much so. But with it coming out reverse like that, I do feel like he has not spoken about everything yet. He has not come out about everything. So whatever he has told, I feel like it's little bits and pieces, and he is in his head trying to say or trying to think of, how is he going to do this? How is he going to get out of this? Plus he feels there's that mental trapped card, that 8 of swords. I really get this sense that he feels like the walls are closing in on him. He doesn't really see any other way out of this other than to talk. And with these 2 cards back to back, I really feel like he is being pushed into a corner, and he is getting ready to just let it all flow. Let it all flow. So I actually feel like if he does have information, he eventually will start talking. All right, so now let me ask the question that we're all curious about. Let me start with Tony first. Does Tony Kline, or did he have anything to do with the murders of Abby and Libby? Tony Kline, anything to do with the murders of Abby and Libby? Tony Kline have anything to do with the murders of Abby and Libby? Okay. Abby and Libby, Abby and Libby. Okay. We have the 5 reversed. Let me pull a couple here. Oh, we have the Tower card. The 9 of Pentacles reversed. The King of Cups. The Fool card. And the Empress. Interesting that we've got another mother. Oh, and we got that 7 of Swords again. All right, so there's some cards here that if I were just to look at the cards just themselves, I would probably look at them as a no, right? But if I look at all of them together, there is something here, especially that Tower card, that is making me feel like these guys very well could know exactly what happened that day to Abby and Libby, and could very well have something to do with it, because I feel like that was a turning point for whoever is responsible, and their life as they knew it cease to exist. All right, we've got this tower here. And that eye, look at that eye. It's like somebody, at the very least, they seen something. They have more information. I truly believe with this tower card coming up, they have some information. They have some knowledge of something. Now this one here is Tony's pull. This is Tony's pull. So this was like in regards to Abby and Libby, there's something that day in Tony's life that really took a shake-up. We've got another 5. We've got another 5, and we've got... Look at this particular 5. Usually the 5 of Swords is not set up like this. This one here, this guy in the middle, he's being surrounded. And it makes me think of like a pack of wolves surrounding, you know, something or someone that they're about to attack. And that's an interesting setup, the way these cards are the way this image is. It makes me feel like potentially there were more people than just 2 involved in what happened to Abby and Libby, but definitely more than 1. Possibly more than 2, definitely more than 1, because the girls were surrounded on all sides. The girls were surrounded on all sides. They could not get away. There was either a blockage of some sort, either it was a person or it was something, you know, geographical, like an edge of something, or I don't know what it is, but they were pretty much stuck there. They could not get away, okay? And so whether it's a person or some sort of physical obstacle, there was something there. And we've got that King of Cups, and this is definitely Tony. This is Tony because he came up with that 4 of Cups and that 5 of Cups. So this is a guy whose emotions are really, I would say, unsteady, okay? He's not coming out reversed, but again, with the 4 and the 5, I feel like he could potentially, he has the ability, I think, to put on for show that he is the King of Cups upright, but behind closed doors, he could very well be, or easily turn into the King of Cups reversed. Again, I have to wonder if he drinks, if he's a drinker, if it's beer, if it's liquor, whatever. Does he go to the bars? Does he sit at home and drink? Because I feel like this is I'm sorry, my dryer just went off. I'm so sorry. It's going to go off again in another minute or 2. I apologize. It's the loudest dryer in the world. All right, so it makes me feel like he has the ability to put on something for the public, but behind closed doors, he can flip. He can flip like a switch. All right, and then we have the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles reversed. You know, the 9 of Pentacles is right next to this Tower card. This here has something that is really connected to this. So whoever this is, okay, whoever she represents, and very well, I'm believing it's one of the girls, whether it's Abby or Libby, I'm not sure, but it's one of the girls, okay? And it makes me feel like there was one specific girl that was targeted, not the other one. It was one, but they both had to go down. They both had to go down. And look at them falling also, okay? We've got a very, very high bridge. I don't know if you can tell in the pictures how high Monon High Bridge is, but there is no way in hell you would see me crossing a bridge like that. I'm sorry, there it goes again. That should be the last time. Okay. So there is no way in hell you would see me crossing Monon High Bridge. I have a fear of heights, so it just wouldn't happen. And even when I watch videos of people crossing it and recording it, it just really gives me chills. Like, it bothers me. I can feel the anxiety and the tension developing in me. And I see two people falling. And it makes me wonder if there was anything that potentially happened with them being pushed off. Okay, so could that have been, excuse me, could that have been the start of it? Now, a fall like that, that would cause serious injury and possibly death, right? There's that possibility. It just clicked when I, not right away, but it clicked after I started seeing one of the girls come through, and then I looked over here and I'm like, okay, there's a potential fall. There's a potential fall. And then who's the I? So let's just look at this tower in a little bit of a different way. The I is somebody who is watching, right? The I is watching them. And the I looks like it's responsible for the destruction. So who's the I? Well, this is a reading on Tony. Okay, this is a reading on Tony. So to me, that I is Tony. It's also his life as he knows it ceasing to exist that day as well. It's both of them. But it really does make me think that he very well could have done something on that bridge. I'd be very curious. I mean, we'll probably never know what, you know, I think that video is how many seconds long, and what, 41 seconds or 42 seconds, I think. And we've only heard a snippet. And so I think that there's a reason for that, because I think that it's not appropriate to be put out there. And I'm not even quite sure that the family has heard the entire thing. And if they haven't, then it really makes you wonder what is on that recording, and what did the girls catch? What did Libby catch on her phone? Huh. And this is one of the girls. This is one of the girls. Again, I don't know which one it is, but this is one of them. So one of them was the primary focus. And then right next to one of the girls, we have Tony himself. And so, you know, there's definitely there's some connection here. They to me are coming out together. And then we have the Fool card. So the Fool card is reversed. So that's recklessness. That is, you know, to me it means being impromptu. You're doing something that, you know, is just a whim. Definitely not planned. You're just taking that plunge into something, right? Especially when it comes out reversed. I look at it as more of a careless action. And so, you know, I feel like with it coming out next to Tony, he has a tendency, and has always possibly had a tendency, to be careless in his actions. He does allow his emotions to, you know, control his behavior and his actions, and especially his words, because I can't forget the cold air, the cold breath. So I feel like he's really sharp with his words. He's really cold. He's really mean, or at least has the potential to be that way. And, you know, again, carelessness, not taking precautions. And I keep thinking again of that Seven of Swords. So there's something there that's off about him. But let's also look at the fact that we've got this particular Fool in the wintertime, okay? It looks like it's winter. And we know that this happened in February, Indiana, okay? It's literally about 2 hours from me. I've never been to Delphi. But I have drove through Kokomo many times, and so our winters, you know, it's cold, but that particular February day, it wasn't too bad, and it was decent enough to go out and get some fresh air. And in February around here, you are definitely wanting to get out when you can. So again, I'm looking at the season. It's in the wintertime. And, you know, he's dressed up, he's, you know, got his bag and his tools and everything. And he's just kind of, you know, we've got the sun was shining that day. And so I really do feel like this is Tony. And I do feel like he was in that area that day. Okay. He really is, to me, coming out as a potential person that could be responsible, or at least involved some way, shape, or form. Now, again, I do feel like there were more than, there's at least two people, okay? So, having said that, knowing that Kegan has said that he was in a vehicle, okay, either there's two options, and I'll ask that question when I get to Kegan. Either he is lying about that, and he wasn't in a vehicle, or he was in the vehicle and someone else was out there along with Tony. Okay, so one of the two, but I feel like there were more than, it wasn't just Tony out there in that area around those girls. So we'll see. All right, we have the Empress, which is that's just, yeah, all right, and then we have the Seven of Swords again. So very, very manipulative, doing things that he knows he wasn't supposed to be doing. Doing things he was out there. He was strategizing. He strategized. It's like there's this sense of getting, you know, again, when I said that the Fool card to me can represent impromptu. All right, you're taking a chance, but it is coming out in reverse, and so I don't always look at the meaning as the opposite of. It can be slightly different, and sometimes the reversals, I even look at them as a more positive outcome than an upright, depending on the card. But with this one here, it makes me think that we're dealing with the opposite of impromptu. So this was something that was planned, all right? Something that was planned in advance. Again, look at these pentacles around one of the girls. Those pentacles to me represent something, okay? They don't always just mean money, okay? Like dollar value money to me. It's a value system. I always talk about a value system. It's what that person values is what it means. And so with it coming out reversed and being right here next to Tony, there's something about this individual here. There's something about this particular girl that he really, or somebody, okay? But I'm leaning towards him. There's something that he really was attracted to. There's something that he was attracted to, but not in a good way, which is why it's coming out in reverse. So there's something there off that he had or someone had with one of the girls. Now I know one of the girls, and I can't remember, forgive me, I can't remember which one was communicating with Kegan Klein's online profile, his fake profile. So there could be something going on with that. Again, I don't remember which girl, whether it was Abby or Libby. That could be the one that is coming out in that particular card. And then now for the Empress, which I'm saving for the last. So, you know, I know people are going to comment and ask, you know, what if one of the girls was pregnant? I don't necessarily pick that up. I'm not picking that up at all. There's something else here with the Empress that's coming in. We also have Kegan's mom who has made an appearance, and she has been some sort of some positive. I have to think that there's something positive because it came out upright, the Queen of Wands. So there's a connection with this motherly figure with Kegan. However, we are reading on Tony, and this Empress is coming out for Tony. There could be mother issues with him, so it could be something to do with a mother. It could be just the meaning of three, birthing, creation, coming up with an idea, coming up with a plan. It could be three people that are involved because, like I said, there's at least two, possibly more. So it definitely could be coming out and saying, God, there's three of them. All right, so there's that. But I don't really feel like either girl was pregnant at that time. There's another meaning for this, and I'm actually feeling in my heart of hearts that this is a sign that there's more than what we're thinking, possibly even more than Kegan and his father Tony. All right, so let me switch decks and let me go to Kegan and ask the same question. Did he have anything to do with the murders of Abby and Libby? What is this one here? The Queen of Wands. There's the Queen of Wands again. The Queen of Wands is coming out in reverse. There's a connection between the Queen of Wands and that Empress, I feel too. So there's something. There's some sort of motherly type energy that's coming through on this reading. Okay, Kegan Kline. Did he harm? Let me take this one here because this one is sticking out. Nine of Pentacles again. So there's some significance to the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. Huh. Kegan Kline, Abby and Libby. Kegan Kline and Abby and Libby. Kegan, Klein, Abby, and Libby. Six of Swords. He might have been actually driving a getaway. Four of Pentacles, reversed. The Strength card. The Strength card is coming up again. There's something here. The King of Swords. That would be Dad. That would be Dad. All right. All right, so I've got the Strength card again. Okay, that came out reversed. I've got the Queen of, or the Nine of Pentacles again, and I've also got the Queen of Wands again. So in this read, though, the Queen of Wands and the Strength card are coming out in reverse. So is there a loss of that feeling? Is there something that snapped? I feel like there might have been something going on in Kegan's life at that time, possibly with a mother figure or even a relationship. You know, maybe it's a relationship, but there's something there that was once good that he valued, that he, you know, he relied on this person for all sorts of support, and definitely I would say cared for this person, and this person cared for him. That changed. Okay, something had changed, and that very well could have contributed to a change in his mental state, because he did come up in the beginning as Swords, so there's a lot of mental stuff going on there. Again, Nine of Pentacles. Let me see here. Yeah, he's got more information to say. He hasn't said everything. He has not come up with everything. And this one here, the Four of Pentacles, that's, you know, that usually shows the guy sitting on the bench and he's holding the pentacle. He's got the pentacle in front of him, two under his feet and one on top of his head. So it's holding on to something. It's holding on to something that's valuable to you. What does that pentacle mean? I feel like the pentacle in this particular reading is truth. Okay, that's what that pentacle is, and he's holding on to it. He's holding on to that for dear life. So he has not come out and said everything. This is still coming out in reverse. So he's still got information that he's keeping to himself. And then also we've got two males here. And that makes me think of Kegan and Tony. So, you know, father and son here in this card, and they're sticking together. They're in this together. So if he has given a little snippet here and there, I would believe at this point he's really downplaying his role, okay? Because these two here, they look pretty equal. They look like they're side by side. They possibly had different roles, but were partners nonetheless. And I don't even know if he realizes when he says things like, well, I was only sitting in a... I mean, I don't know how he said it, but he might be thinking that he is really, really, you know, making himself look like he had nothing to do with it. But, you know, that's not the case. You know, so I think that there's a little bit of mental immaturity and possibly some ignorance there, naivety that he also is having. Then we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords to me is Dad, and that's Tony. Okay, so he is a major influence on Kegan. Major influence on Kegan. So in regards to that particular day, one thing that I'm really, really looking at right here is that boat in the Six of Swords. And we've got, what do we got in here? I really do feel like these two, how often in the Six of Swords, you know, all decks are different and the imagery is always different, but how often in the Six of Swords do you have two men sitting in a boat? Not very often. Usually it's a man standing up in the back and it looks like possibly a mother and a child in the front sitting. Okay, and we just see their backs. But this time, it's two men. It's two men, and we see their front side. We see their faces. And they're in this boat. They're in the water. They're traveling. That boat, okay, that boat represents their vehicle. That's what it represents to me. They've got all the swords in the boat. So they've got all the tools. They've got everything in the truck or in the car or whatever it was that they used. Okay, we obviously have one person here, you know, sitting in the front, but again, they look like they're equal, right? It doesn't really look like one is the leader over the other. And so, again, I have to emphasize that whatever Kegan has said so far, he is not being 100% honest. He is still holding on to the story. He's only giving little bits and pieces, and he's being very selective and strategic as much as he has the ability to be. He's only giving a little bit to just kind of, you know, get him off his back, or to make it, you know, to diminish his role in this. But I do feel like he had a much larger role in this, and quite honestly equal to potentially his father. Now, of course, this is a tarot reading, so I'm not saying that they did anything, all right? I'm not saying that Tony has anything to do with it, but based on these cards, there's some serious energy that's coming out in regards to them on that particular day, and some cards that are coming out really showing that these two guys were working as a partnership, all right? Now, again, I said from the beginning, based on what's coming out, I have to wonder if there's more than just the two of them because of that Five of Swords. Was this a group of people? Did they have helpers? It very well could have been that they were prepared, right? Because I feel like this is also them going to the scene, going to that area ahead of time. This is them getting there ahead of time, and they've got everything stacked up in their boat, and they're just ready. So they know what they're going to do. Could they have set up potentially some I want to say like booby traps to make sure that these girls, it's almost like I feel like they waited until the girls were in the location that they were meant to be in to make this happen, all right? It couldn't happen before they got on the bridge. It couldn't happen when they were off the bridge. It had to happen right where they're at, and that takes me back to that tower with the two people falling from the tower. It's almost like there was a goal to get them on the bridge. All right, and so it makes me feel like, could they have also set up some things around the perimeter to make sure that they weren't leaving? I don't know. It's just an eerie overall feeling that I'm getting right now. And then again, this is a between that Queen of Wands reversed and the Strength card. I feel like whatever relationship that Kegan had with this person, whoever this person is, it was once solid and good, and then it changed. And I believe that change could very well have made him possibly snap. It could have been just what he needed to, because after all, he is Tony's son, and Tony is coming up himself as somebody that's very dark. Okay, so there's definitely something. And again, the King of Swords, it's coming out because it has an impact on Kegan. This is Kegan's read, so it has an impact on Kegan. And then again, the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like this is one of the girls. This is one of the girls coming out yet again and saying, this is to me, in my opinion, how I'm interpreting the cards, not for fact, but in my opinion, this is one of the girls, okay? One of the girls is very strong in this read, and she's coming out and she's like, I'm putting myself here with these two people, all right? I am making the connection with these two people. I am here. I'm here, all right? So, again, you know, we have this woman standing, it looks like possibly on the beach, and we have a boat behind her. That makes me feel like they were indeed being followed. They were being followed around that whole area. The people who were doing the following were waiting for the right opportunity. They were waiting for the right opportunity, and that right opportunity was that bridge. All right. Let's see here. Let me go to, what do I want to use? Let me go to the Heaven and Earth Tarot, because I want to get just an idea of where this investigation is going. Are we going to hear anything soon? Is there going to be a press conference? Anything. Is there movement towards an arrest? I did see on YouTube the other day that people were, putting out there that Tony had been arrested. He has not been. As far as I know, he has not been arrested, so that was a rumor. But I want to ask if there is a potential arrest coming in the near future. So I'm looking for cards like justice, any kind of trapped cards, that 8 of Swords, even the 5 of Swords, anything like that, the 9 of Swords. All right. Is there going to be any movement in the Delphi case? Are we going to see anything happening soon? Anything happening soon? Any kind of activity or movement in the Delphi case? Any activity or movement in the Delphi case? Oh, phenomenal. The stars. The star card. Oh, that's great. That's a... and that Empress. There's something with the Empress. Something is important with the Empress. There's a very significant female involved in this whole thing. And I feel like it's actually in a good way. Not a negative way, but a good way. All right. 9 of Cups reversed. We've got Temperance. And we've got the High Priestess. So we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. So I do believe, just based off the fact that 4 out of 5 cards here are major arcana. So that means that, to me, there is something major happening in this case. There is major movement. And I do believe that it is movement in the right direction. I think that that star, that's all about hopes, opportunities. And then this particular deck, the way that the stars are aligned, it looks like a clock. And so I do feel like there's something happening, and there's something happening soon. If anything, I feel like law enforcement is hopeful. They're hopeful that they're going to be able to break this case. I think even the family is hopeful that they're going to be able to break this case as well. There is something about this Empress because she has come up now 3 times, I believe. This one's a younger one. She's a younger Empress. So that very well could be, and I feel like the Empress is actually more associated to Kegan than it is Tony. It could be both, but there's something inside of me that's saying this is in regards to Kegan. This is in regards to Kegan. Whether it's a relationship in like the terms of a girlfriend, or if it's a mother relationship, a motherly figure. There's something here that is going to, I think, contribute to this case being possibly solved. Is there a mother that, you know, is going to, you know, let's just say, let me throw something out that my mind went to. I don't know anything about Kegan's mother. I don't even know if she's still alive. So let's just say hypothetically she is, and she is in that area, and she, you know, possibly goes to Kegan and pleads for him to be truthful and to tell what happened. And that could absolutely be enough for him to do so, because there is a connection. There's a strong connection between him and this female. There's something that happened where they kind of fell off, and that really, really, I think, hurt him. That I think did something to him. But if this person were to re-enter into his life and talk to him and say, hey, you know what, you need to do what's right, I believe that he would listen to that person, or he would at least consider it. And so she is coming out as having a very strong influence on the outcome of this case. There's going to be tears shed because we've got this 9 of Cups. So this is a bittersweet outcome. This is definitely a bittersweet outcome. And it's still not balanced because Abby and Libby are not here. Their lives were taken. And that is still unfair. That's unfair to the family. The family still misses them. So I don't ever think balance is going to be restored 100%. But it might be restored at least in the eyes of justice here, because there's some good and bad. It's a bittersweet pull at the end here. And again, with this here, the high priestess as well as the Empress, I feel like this woman here, whoever it is, knows. She knows. There are people, I believe, in Kegan as well as maybe Tony. I believe that they know deep down that there could be potential involvement. And it's going to be up to them, I think, to be able to urge Kegan to come out and be honest, because it sounds like if there hasn't been an arrest, and I believe that that was all rumor, they must not have any physical evidence to tie either one of them to the murders. So it's really sounding like they're really going to have to either find something, because they were searching, right? They were searching in that one body of water. So there might be something there that they're looking for, like a weapon of something. But, you know, it sounds like it's going to really come down to somebody saying something, somebody talking. And I do feel like that woman's going to play a role in that. All right, let me just ask really quick, because I forgot about the search. I wanna ask what that search was for. What were they looking for? What was the water search? What was the water search for? Was it in regards to the Delphi murders? And if it was, what was it? Or what is it? What were police searching for? What were police searching for? What were police searching for in the water? What were police searching for? Oh my God, the Nine of Pentacles. Wow, I don't think I've had a reading like this in a very long time, where the same cards have come out repeatedly. This is either Abby or Libby. It's one of them. And with it being one of them, it makes me think that this isn't necessarily a weapon per se, but it's a personal belonging to one of the girls, or possibly both girls. There's something that belonged to one of them that is potentially in that water, or in some body of water, or somewhere. So there could have been a trophy that was taken, because look at how she's holding the bird, right? So there could have been a trophy that was taken, and you know, somebody was like, we've got to get rid of this, because if anything happens and we have this, we're done. So if there was or were any trophies taken, it was disposed of, at least one of them. Okay, we've got 9. So I feel like there could be several trophies that were actually taken, to be honest with you. But there's one of them, or at least maybe even all of them, but at least one of them that they were searching for. So I don't think it was anything to do with a weapon. I think it was something that belongs to one of the girls. And one of the girls is coming out in this reading very, very heavily. And you'll have to forgive me, because I have not checked too much into the case, unfortunately, lately. I cannot recall which one of the girls was communicating with Kegan's online fake profile. I do not recall which one it is. Whichever one it is, and I'm leaning towards, I want to say it's Libby, because I believe I remember her grandma. Might be Libby, because I remember her grandma making a comment about how she was shocked. So I'm going to go with Libby. If that's the case, this is Libby coming out. Okay, this is Libby that has come out several times throughout this read. So she is definitely the one that is wanting to speak, wanting to get the story out and say, hey, yes, this happened. So I do believe that we are going to, you know, let me just pull a card. I know I can't want to end it. Oh, we've got the 3 of Cups. So we've got a celebration. Again, it's like a bittersweet celebration. But my question was going to be a time frame on when we will see this movement. Okay, so, oh, we've got the Star. All right, so we've got 17 plus 3, that's 20, which is 2. We always reduce it to 1 digit, so that's 2. So could we possibly see something? I mean, we've got a couple different things. We've got a couple days, we've got a couple weeks, couple months. Hopefully it's no more than a couple of months. I actually feel like there is some movement in this case this time around. And I feel like there's something good coming. Again, depending on what you consider good. Bittersweet good, maybe legal good, but I do feel like there is something coming, and we could actually hear something within the next couple of months. So let's pray that that's the case. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I will try to get another video out soon. I'm hoping to do one tonight. There is a reading that I want to do. Someone had put in a request for a woman who went missing in, I believe it's Osceola, Florida. She was last seen swimming in some river, and she has never been seen since. And so I do want to do a reading on that one. That was requested a while back, and so I haven't had time to really get to all of the requests, but I am going to try to get back into those. But anyway, thank you guys for being here so much. I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend, and I wish you all a blessed week, and I will see you soon. Bye.